There is Harrison Butker, having a great season, hasn't missed a place kick, field goal this year. Cordero Patterson, been around Minnesota and Oakland, comes over here, ready to return the opening kickoff, and he will let that one bound through the end zone. We'll take a look at the New England starters.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
James White, Wisconsin.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Josh Gordon, Baylor University.
Chris Hogan, Penn State lacrosse.
Rob Gronkowski, University of Arizona.
Trey Brown, Georgia Military College.
Joe Tooney, North Carolina State.
David Andrews, Georgia.
Shaq Mason, Georgia Tech.
Marcus Cannon, TCU.
Big Trent Brown came over from San Francisco in the offseason. So Gordon starts. He's at the top of the screen. That's Edelman on the right side. Hogan is in the slot. And Brady out of the gun with the fake, throws, it's caught. He goes right to Gordon for a first down on the game's first play. Gain of 12. Boy, if this guy can stay on the straight and narrow and off the suspended list, look out.
And Tom Brady talked about Josh Gordon's hands. Watch this one. Up the field, just snatches it right out of midair. Tom said he has yet to see him drop a pass in a game or even in practice. Said he sort of bobbled one the other day, and I was startled seeing it.
All those years in Cleveland, but didn't play very much because he was always on the suspended list. Now Sony Michel is the running back, and the rookie from Georgia, drafted at the end of the first round, takes it out to the 42. 41-year-old Tom Brady, 12 touchdowns. What's interesting, 6 interceptions, and they have all come between the numbers. 2 years ago, he did not throw 1 interception between the numbers. But he's got the full complement now with Edelman back off suspension, with Gordon on the team. Gronkowski is healthy. He's got White. He's got Michel. He's got a ton of tools. 2nd and 5. Into Michel again. Michel busts free, gets into Chiefs territory. Stopped by Ron Parker. Another first down for the Pats.
Well, here's the problem if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. They're bringing in their pass coverage linebacker now, Terrence Smith. And when they go to these smaller inside linebackers and take out Reggie Ragland, you know what Tom Brady's going to do. He's going to say, it's fine. We have a great running game as well, and just hand the thing off.
Edelman had lined up in the backfield. Now he goes into the slot. Brady with the empty set from the 47-yard line. Chiefs rush 3, and the pass down the sideline is incomplete, intended for Gordon. And let's take a look at the Kansas City D.
Chris Jones, Mississippi State.
Derek Nutty, Florida State.
Alan Bailey, University of Miami.
Breland Speaks, Ole Miss.
Anthony Hitchens, Iowa. Reggie Ragland, Alabama.
D. Ford, Auburn. Steve Nelson, Oregon State University.
Jordan Lucas, Penn State.
Ron Parker, Newberry College.
Kendall Fuller, Virginia Tech.
That's a defense that's given up more yardage than any team in the league. Kansas City, of course, with a potent offense, but they've actually given up more yardage than they've gained. Little toss here goes to Sony Michel. A nice gain again to the 40-yard line. Steven Nelson makes the tackle. And that will make it 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, Kansas City's known for their little gimmicks and tricks, and I think the Patriots wanted to show they had a few as well. Right there is the defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton. And you may not see quite as much no huddle tonight out of the Patriots, simply because they have people in Josh Gordon that really doesn't know the offense that well, and Julian Edelman just working his way back into shape.
So far they've huddled on every play. Nice move by Brady to get free, and then the pass is incomplete, intended for Gronkowski. It might have been tipped. Gronkowski couldn't hold on to it. 4th down.
One of the hottest pass rushers in the NFL coming around the outside. D. Ford goes around Cannon, forces Brady to step up. Now it's going to be up to some of those inside guys to get some pressure, in particular number 95, Chris Jones.
Meanwhile, the offense is going to stay out there. The ball is at the 40. So you'd be looking at a 58-yard field goal.
Yeah, and I think you know who you're playing on offense on the other side, too,
exactly.
Right? This is one of those shootout kind of games. Don't give them the ball.
James White comes into the backfield now, flanking Brady on a 4th and 3. Tom protected well, throws, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Gordon. He's covered by Nelson. Speaks put the pressure on, and Kansas City will get it near midfield when we come back. Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the Kansas City offensive cast.
Patrick Mahomes II, Texas Tech University.
Kareem Hunt, Toledo.
Tyreek Hill, Pearson, Georgia.
Sammy Watkins, Clemson.
Chris Conley, Georgia.
Travis Kelce, Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
Eric Fisher, Fire Up Chips.
Cameron Irvin, Florida State.
Mitch Morse, Missouri. Jordan Devey, Memphis.
Mitchell Schwartz, Cal.
Schwartz having a very good season. Kareem Hunt starts in the backfield next to Mahomes from the 41-yard line. Hands the ball off to Kareem Hunt, who had a sensational professional debut here last year. So let's look at the numbers now for Patrick Mahomes. He threw 14 touchdown passes before his first interception. He threw 2 of them last week, but they still beat Jacksonville handily. Rating is terrific, 1,500 yards, so he's over 300 yards per game on average. And he comes in with one of the 2 undefeated teams in the league, the other being the Rams, who won again today to go to 6-0. And second down and 6. Mahomes throws. That's caught by the great tight end Kelce to the 37. And you're watching a game with probably the 2 best tight ends in the league, Gronkowski and Kelce.
Well, here we go. They are going to take a good hard look here, and as everybody run blocks, it is totally up to Mahomes whether he's going to hand it off or make a throw. He had one receiver out in the flat and his favorite receiver inside in Travis Kelce. So that is the basis of this offense. Let this young quarterback in 7 starts, you're going to turn the offense over to him and make those decisions.
Mahomes. Again, he goes to the tight end, and Kelce very close to a first down as we take a look at the Patriots defense.
Lawrence Guy, ASU.
Danny Shelton, Washington. Troy Flowers, Arkansas. Dante Hattau, the University of Alabama.
Elander Roberts, the University of Houston.
Kyle Van Noy, Brigham.
Stephon Gilmore, South Carolina.
Patrick Chung, Oregon Ducks.
Devin McCourty, RU.
Jason McCourty, Rutgers.
Jonathan Jones, Auburn.
McCourty twins in there, second down and 1 with the ball at the 29-yard line. Handoff goes to Kareem Hunt. They needed 1, and they get about 2.5 to move the chains. Andy Reid, boy, he's having a lot of fun this year. Of course, when he came into the National Football League as an assistant coach in Green Bay, he had Brett Favre. And then 14 seasons as the head coach in Philadelphia. He drafted Donovan McNabb in the first round while he was there. And the only other first-round quarterback he drafted is the guy you're seeing tonight, Patrick Mahomes, in the first round last year.
He must have really missed Brett Favre because he drafted another one.
Yes, he did.
This young man, watching him play in college, that's what he looked like. Now, he's been trained out of a little bit of that, but he still has it.
First down, good protection, fires a little too high, had the man open. That was Kareem Hunt, who would have scored easily. Pass high, second down.
Boy, they got a matchup they were going to love. They had Dante Hightower on Kareem Hunt, and there is just no way he was going to be able to keep up with him. Mahomes probably a little excited coming out here early. Just missed that one. That's when Alex Smith hit to Kareem Hunt a season ago for a long touchdown.
Kansas City came in here and shocked the Patriots in the season opener last year. Mahomes spreads them out. Go 5 wide on second down. Pressure is put on. He gets it away, and it's caught inside the 25. But Tyreek Hill is smothered immediately. Van Noy is right there, along with Jason McCourty. It'll be third down and 8.
Yeah, they are messing with the young quarterback a little bit right now. They had a look at all 4 interior guys were all going to blitz, and then they back out. So they want Mahomes to hurry his clock up. They want him to think he's under pressure even when he's not.
Chiefs have scored on every first drive this season, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. They've outscored the opposition 59-9 in the first quarter. Third and 8. Mahomes backing off into the gun. Under pressure, throws, and again a little too high. Tyreek Hill at the goal line. Covered on the play by Jonathan Jones, and it's 4th down. They'll have to settle for a field goal attempt, and Mahomes forced into the issue by Trey Flowers.
Yeah, just a couple of overthrows here early on. I'm sure he's excited. It's a big moment. Just barely over the top, but it was Trey Flowers who got the pressure that really forced Mahomes to do a little fadeaway jumper on that throw and probably cost him a touchdown.
Harrison Butker, 42-yard attempt, 22 of 22 on extra points, 7 of 7 on field goals. Will his perfect season continue? And it will. So about 6 minutes into the game, KC scores again on its first drive, and they lead 3-0 in New England. Patrick Mahomes, first career start against Belichick and Brady, obviously. Quarterbacks in their first start versus that tandem, 5-44 during the regular season and 11 straight losses. Colin Kaepernick was the last guy to beat him under this scenario. He did that in 2012 with the 49ers. So Mahomes and his group take an early 3-0 lead.
Pretty heavy tutelage over there on the sideline, isn't there? They all surround him.
See, Butker's kick, and Patterson's going to let it flow through the end zone, and that will come to the 25-yard line. 18-year difference in age between Brady at 41 and Mahomes at 23. Go back to 2000. Tom was a rookie, and Patrick Mahomes was at the World Series because his dad Pat was pitching for the Mets. It was the Mets-Yankees World Series, and there he was shagging fly balls with Dad, who's here tonight.
Yeah, we met Pat before the game down there. He's awfully proud of his young man. We have a few stories to tell on top of that we'll get to.
That wasn't a picture of Dad. That was one of the other guys on the Mets at that particular time, but Dad was there. That was Mike Hampton, a pitcher. From the 25-yard line, Brady will throw, and the pass is incomplete. Gronkowski looks for a flag, and he will get one. Flag coming in. Get a first call of the night from John Hussey.
Holding. Defense, number 38. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Now that's Ron Parker, the safety, who was a Chief, and then he went to Atlanta for a few minutes and came back.
Yeah, you come in on a Monday or Tuesday, and they give you your assignment sheet, and the assignment sheet said, I want you to cover Gronk one-on-one during this game. Oh, okay, great. So that's the assignment. He's going to have to come out there and be able to make it. This is a man coverage team. That is what they would prefer to play. You have to survive in man coverage against this bunch.
Brady with a play fake. That buys a ton of time, and this time he hits Hogan. And he gets 10. And another first down. Kendall Fuller makes the tackle for the Chiefs.
One of the big guys we'll be watching tonight is Breeland Speaks, the rookie right up on the top of your screen right there. So we'll have to see whether or not he's going to be able to have an impact on this game. He's a big guy, about 285 pounds. Unfortunately, the guy blocking him there, Trent Brown, is 385 pounds.
Taking Justin Houston's spot. Big hole over the right side. There goes Michelle, and the Georgia rookie takes it out to the 48. One of two guys picked in the first round. The other also from Georgia, Isaiah Wynn, but he got hurt in preseason and is on injured reserve for the rest of the year.
You know, you're always tempted to want to really get the passing game going early, and you have these two great quarterbacks, and we talk about the mismatch, but I'm not so sure it's not going to be Sony Michel and James White. Michel running the football, James White so difficult to cover for linebackers.
And White is in the game, but they give it to Cordero Patterson around the left side, and that's enough for a first down. Nelson makes the tackle as we approach the halfway mark of the first quarter. Kansas City up 3-0.
You know, Al, this is kind of a bizarre game, isn't it? You have Tom Brady, who's played in 8 Super Bowls, and Pat Mahomes, who's played in 7 games. And here we are really comparing apples to apples, which is an exciting thing that's going on in the NFL. A lot of good young talent at the quarterback position.
Mahomes has watched 8 Super Bowls on television. From the 49-yard line. Michel, look at that hole. He exploits that and picks up 13 yards. Takes the ball to the 36-yard line.
Joe Thuney here is going to pull out and around as all these guys block down and form a wall, and Thuney does a nice job just sifting through all the traffic there and picking out his guy, that time Anthony Hitchens, who came over from the Cowboys.
The run defense has been a problem for Kansas City. Already seen a couple of very large holes open up tonight. Not this time, though, as he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Allen Bailey makes the tackle in his 8th year from Miami.
Yeah, Bailey's had a nice season this year. He's got 4 sacks already on the year. His career high is 5, so he's off to a good start. There's Justin Houston over on the sideline, who has been one of the really great players in this league for a long, long time. He's going to miss with a hamstring here tonight. But I'll tell you, when he and D Ford are both flying and both healthy, that's a heck of a combination with Chris Jones and Allen Bailey inside to complement them.
Now you've got Gordon in the slot and Patterson outside. Now Cordero comes in motion, fake it to him, and Brady throws, and the pass is incomplete. Nicely designed play, but not effective there, as Sony Michel was the intended receiver, and it makes it 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, and so far right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are getting away with their man coverage. So I think you're going to begin to see Josh McDaniels going to some of those pick play packages out there. Well, they'll bring some guys and some crossing routes and see if they can't just rub off some of these defenders and pick up these first downs.
Good numbers there on 3rd down and long, 7 or more to go. They rank 1st in the league in stopping the opposition. White is in the backfield. He stays in the block. Brady fires, and that's caught by Hogan, and he can only get to the 30-yard line. Fuller makes the tackle there. It'll be 4th down and 3, and Gostkowski and company will come in to attempt to tie the game.
Well, I would think that Bob Sutton is absolutely thrilled if, in fact, they do settle for the field goal here. You have Tom Brady at home. These guys have been so explosive early in ball games. And to get them off the field with no points the first time and maybe just 3 here, pretty good.
48-yard attempt for Gostkowski in his 13th season as a Patriot, and he bangs it right through the uprights. 5:18 left in the opening quarter in Foxborough. 3-3 on Sunday Night Football. (3-3) with Gostkowski kicking off. Tremont Smith, a rookie, is back to receive it. And here comes the rookie from the goal line. Breaks a tackle and takes it out to the 24-yard line. So we've got a new thing now on Sunday Night Football. We can show you how far a kick would have gone. Take a look at this. Gostkowski from 48 yards away. Put in the numbers here: 74 miles an hour, 44 feet high. That would have been good from 57.
Yeah, that's the old TrackMan technology we see in golf with the great NBC golf coverage.
So made it by 9 yards.
It's good to know that range, though, 57 yards, so we have some idea.
For sure. From the 23-yard line. Mahomes, and it's intercepted at the 30-yard line by Dante Hightower. Inside the 20 and the 10, and he'll make it 1st and goal from the 3. Hightower in coverage over the middle, and there's a flag that comes in late. You've got Eric Fisher hobbling off, the left tackle, and John Hussey will be the man of the moment to let us know what this is all about.
There is no foul on the play. The block by number 98 was legal. 1st down.
That is Hightower's 1st regular season interception. He had 1 in postseason.
Yeah, you give the young guy something to think about. You fake the blitz, you drop back, and he falls underneath the crosser here coming across the field. Nice play by Hightower. The veteran got the young buck. Well,
Mahomes went 4+ games before he had a pass intercepted, 2 last week. Hightower looks around, look what I found, and sets him up at the 4-yard line. First and goal. You've got Sony Michel in the game. They put a fullback in for the first time, James Devlin, number 46. Give it to Michel, and he will burst into the end zone. Touchdown. Devlin providing the push along the way, and the Patriots take the lead.
Yeah, we're going to get here, we're going to get here, we get Shaq Mason, and if I were Andy Reid, this is what I would be most concerned about. The Patriots getting a lead and being able to come back to their running game, because physical dominance up front by the Patriots is a possibility in this game.
Devlin helping to block and then throwing his body weight on him to get him across the goal line. Gostkowski for the extra point. Ryan Allen to put it down. And Hightower with the pick, his first regular season interception. New England cashes in, up 10-3. .3 is the score. Gostkowski to send it down to Tremon Smith. Instead, it's a bouncing ball fielded to the 35-yard line. And that is Spencer Ware, who brings the ball back up to the 45.
All right, so now we get to find out a little bit about Patrick Mahomes. Not a great start, right? He misses early on one that would have been an easy touchdown to Kareem Hunt. Comes right back, sort of fadeaway jumper over the top of Tyreek Hill. And then he gets picked by a veteran player in Dante Hightower with a very good defensive scheme. So, who cares, right? This team is so explosive. Just put your helmet back on and go to work.
From the 45, they get the break after that kickoff as Hunt takes it, and Kareem Hunt off to the races to the 30-yard line. He's already in scoring position. Eric Rowe makes the tackle, and that is a gain of 25.
Now, one thing you know about Andy Reid's teams, they run screens so well. Watch Mitchell Schwartz get really wide and invite the rush from the outside to come inside him. And now here we go, just to the outside, and they get Hunt out there. This is a team, and Andy Reid is a coach that runs screens about as efficiently as any team I've ever seen.
From the 30, give it to Hunt again. He led the league in rushing last season. Played his college ball at Toledo. He had one fumble in 4 years there. Remember last year in the opening game, his first ever carry in the National Football League was a fumble. And that's his last fumble.
Yeah.
Over 400 touches since.
Hasn't fumbled since. I guess the MAC had Tuesday night and Thursday night football, right? And Andy Reid said I used to sit in my office and watch him play, and I was like, he's pretty good.
Yeah, got to get him. And he got a break last year when Spencer Ware got hurt in preseason. He would have been the starting running back. Ware would have. And instead that opened the door for the rookie. And that pass is an errant pass for Tyreek Hill, who is coming back behind the line of scrimmage. The pass out in front of him, 3rd down and 4.
All right, well, I don't think Patrick Mahomes is praying. This is just his habit. And we asked him about it last night, the idea of keeping those hands together. He had no idea he was doing it. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Like, everything is so calculated in the NFL now. He didn't know he did that.
You'd think he's seen it a ton of times on film. Didn't know he was doing it. Spencer Ware is now in the game on 3rd down. Patriots show blitz, and they're coming, and Mahomes will throw, and that one is incomplete. Intended for Kelsey at Hightower on the blitz that time. They all came, and it's 4th down.
Well, they're basically all standing up like linebackers. Look at all this mess in here. And they all come after him, and he is going to have another wide open target. Does a good job fading away and just is missing those just barely. These are all the plays that Patrick Mahomes have been hitting all season long. And I have a feeling he's going to settle back into them as we go along.
43-yard attempt for Harrison Butker. And they pick up 3. They make it New England 10, Kansas City 6, back in 30 seconds. As they start from the 25-yard line. by age now. Tom Brady, 20s, 30s, and 40s. From 20 to 29, his rank in history is 21st. 30 to 39, second. And 40 plus, he's already first. And a lot more to come, I would surmise.
Yeah, I would think when he gets to 50, he'll be all alone.
We should be. Guaranteed. We saw him second, 30 to 39. Drew Brees would be number 1. Meanwhile, now you've got Kenyon Barner, who just got brought back to the active roster, former Philadelphia Eagle, who comes in, the number 3 running back, and picks up about 4 yards. Got Michelle on the sideline. You got White backing him up. Pretty much splitting time, actually, when you think about it. White catches a lot of passes, and now Barner getting an opportunity. 2nd and 6. Edelman now behind Brady. Flares to the left. Caught by Gronkowski on the run. And he takes it to the 45-yard line. Tackled there by Ron Parker.
Sometimes Gronkowski is just too big and too strong for the 200-pounders that he's playing against. And remember, this is a defense that is playing not only just without their pass rushers, they're playing without 4 safeties on this team, including the great Eric Berry, who, when Eric Berry went up against Gronkowski last year, is one of the great matchups for as long as it lasted that we saw.
Split screen of the 2 great tight ends. Meanwhile, look at Barner go for a first down. Tackled by Jordan Lucas with 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
This is a lot of beef that they're throwing at the Kansas City Chiefs. They have been leaving their fullback, James Devlin, in the game and pulling these 2 guards, Joe Thuney and Shaq Mason, around. And at least thus far, that combination's been a little much for the run-stuffing linebackers inside.
9 first downs for the Patriots at this point. And again, Barner getting a lot of work on this drive. Picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Jarvis Jenkins makes the stop.
You know, Al, one of the problems as the Patriots go with a little pace here is because the Kansas City Chiefs are so thin at the pass rusher position. As they go faster and faster, you eventually are going to have to take the D Fords and the Breeland Speaks off the field just to give them a bit of a break.
2nd and 8. Chiefs realign defensively. Brady stepping up, climbs the pocket, throws, caught. Julian Edelman at the 29-yard line. So Julian in his 2nd game back from the suspended list is good for 14 and a first down.
Julian Edelman told us before he came off the suspension list, he used to practice in full pads. And I said, well, how's it going? You feel like you have training camp legs? And he said, no, not at all. It was easier than what I was doing. So here's on the outside the guy, D Ford, who's going to have to be in the backfield with Tom Brady if the Chiefs are going to win this one.
And Edelman missed all of last year's torn ACL in preseason. Another big hole as Michelle comes back into the game. And runs down to the 21-yard line, and that's going to probably run us down to the end of the quarter. So it'll be 2nd down and 2. And the teams will flip sides on this Sunday night. 48 degrees in Foxborough, with New England leading Kansas City 10-6. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Gillette Stadium, where it's 2nd down and 2 as the 2nd quarter begins. Pats up by 4. On the ground, Michelle, the rookie, to the 16-yard line for a first down. A lot of ways to look at this game tonight. Anything surprise you to this point?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought that Tom Brady and the Patriots might be able to run the football really effectively, but now even with the Kansas City Chiefs making some adjustments to try and just stuff the run, they're still pushing them off the ball, and that's going to set up some big play action to Gronkowski here in just a couple of minutes.
Gronk in motion, the slot to the right. Brady looks the other way, and the ball is on the ground. but it is recovered by New England. Chris Jones, who had a pick 6 last week in Kansas City in the game against Jacksonville, was able to force the fumble, but alertly the Patriots are right there to recover it.
Yeah, this is what they're going to have. Chris Jones is one of their better players, and he just reads this block and comes up and makes the play. But that was exactly what they were trying to do. They were faking that same run, and they were looking for Gronkowski going down the seam, and Jones just made the play. Now they need a huge stop.
The center, David Andrews, recovers it. Now it is 2nd down and 16. Brady under pressure again, fires that one to Gordon, and Josh Gordon takes the ball to the 17. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
You know, Al, I think if the New England Patriots are going to be what they always hope to be, which is world champion at the end of the year, there's really 2 key people, and one would be Trent Brown, number 77, their left tackle, and the other would be Josh Gordon. If those 2 guys grow the way that they have so far to this point in the season, this is going to be a pretty dynamic offense.
Brown can't grow anymore. He's 6'8" and 380. Nate Solder went to the Giants, and they picked up Brown from San Francisco in a trade. 3rd down and 10. Only a 3-man rush, 8 covering. Brady floats, one caught, touchdown Edelman. Perfect arc, and Julian Edelman into the end zone. 75 yards in 10 plays.
Working against Kendall Fuller here, and one of the problems you have when you try to go with a 3-man rush against Tom Brady is you just give him a lot of time to survey the field, and Tom took full advantage of it that time. They're definitely trying to help on Dee Ford, who keeps getting close but just cannot get to Tom Brady. So they fumble the ball and recover and score a touchdown anyway.
And this will make it 17-6 on Gostkowski's extra point. The Patriots trying to make it 3 straight wins, trying to hand Kansas City its first loss, on top by 11. Brady to Edelman for the touchdown. Beautiful drive, 5 runs and 5 passes. Perfect balance, 75 yards for the touchdown.
Kind of bizarre, really. Julian Edelman spent more time adjusting his gloves during that route than he did actually running the route. Let's see what happened. Kind of got his glove almost pulled off. He pulls it back on and scores a touchdown.
And the Chiefs will begin their next drive from the 25-yard line.
Oh, it was funny talking with Julian Edelman and Tom Brady yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't think we better tell all the stories that they were telling, but they really have a great time together. And Tom said one of the best parts about having him back is I can yell at somebody again, and they don't get intimidated, they don't get scared, and then when I can yell at him, nobody gets upset when I yell at anybody else because they see me yelling at Edelman.
Well, Edelman also knows a quarterback's mentality since he was one in high school and college.
He knows what Tom is thinking.
From the 25, now Mahomes goes to work. Flushed out of the pocket, fires downfield, and that is caught by Chris Conley. Great grab up the 44-yard line. So Mahomes extends the play. Conley comes up a little gimpy here, and that's a gain of 19.
Well, here's where at least half of Mahomes' big plays have come this year, and that's when he gets out of the pocket. It's really the first time that we've seen him try and move around a little bit. And I think that's probably at this point in his career a little bit more of his comfort zone.
It's Damian Williams now in the game. Sets up in the backfield. Last 4 years as a Dolphin. And they'll give it to him. And he'll swing to the outside but can't get around the corner. He's forced out by Jason McCourty after a gain of 1 yard.
Well, when you face a great tight end like Travis Kelce, what do? You take one of your pass rushers in Trey Flowers and you go, I'm willing to sacrifice a little pass rush in order to keep Kelce from beating me down the field. And we saw this a week ago with Flowers. He was just beating up tight ends and receivers in that slot position. So you can tell what they're trying to do is keep Mahomes in the pocket, but make sure Kelce doesn't get off the ball.
2nd and 9 is a stoppage here as the officials are now pointing to maybe the clock. Referee is John Hussey.
The correct time on the field is 11:35. Thank you.
There you go. Gronk and Kelsey, we talked about two great tight ends. How about that Vance McDonald in Pittsburgh? Did you see him today?
He's a runaway train right now. Bengals could not tackle him.
So Brian Flores, who in effect is the de facto defensive coordinator, doesn't have the title, the linebacker coach, but he's running the defense. Swing pass goes to Hunt, and he's forced out about 2 yards shy of the first down by Jonathan Jones. It'll be third and a deuce.
And one of the things that Kansas City does on offense that's really interesting that not everybody does is they go with 4-man routes to one side. So you see 3 right here, and then they come screaming across with Kareem Hunt. And you have a very balanced look for the Patriots on defense. And sometimes you just run out of guys to cover their guys.
Third down caught at 3, just across midfield.
They are all over Kelsey.
And another swing pass goes to Hunt, and he's able to avoid a tackle and should have enough for a first down. High steps his way out of a Kyle Van Noy tackle and moves the sticks.
Yeah, here's what they're seeing is that Travis Kelce is getting a linebacker walked out no matter where he is on the field. That's about as far as you'll see Hightower. So basically you're taking him completely out. Kelce said to heck with that and plays the other way. But you're taking him completely out of any pass rush possibility. That's how significant a player Travis Kelce is.
Spencer Ware is the running back. Fake to him, and we've got a whistle and a flag before the snap.
Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Cameron Irving, the left guard.
Yeah, Cameron Irving has played a little bit of everything. Came over from Cleveland, played tackle, played center, and he's playing guard here. And he's filled in well, probably up front for the Kansas City Chiefs. I would say the guy who's having the best year so far is Mitchell Schwartz, their right tackle, and who's just done such a nice job in protection against some of the best pass rushers in the NFL in that division.
First and 15. Give it to Hunt. Kareem Hunt. First down and a lot more. Boy, he loves playing in this ballpark. What a night he had opening night last year. Running and receiving and 246 yards from scrimmage.
Yeah, they're starting to get their pull action game going now and bring around the center, Mitch Morse. Not all centers can do what he's doing here. Comes around and gets that cut, but Al, you're dead on. Kareem Hunt, every time he walks in this building, he goes crazy. And he hasn't been a huge factor in this offense like he has been in the past.
35 yards rushing, 38 receiving so far tonight. Ball to the 25-yard line. Handed off to Spencer Ware. He goes nowhere. Wrestled to the ground after a very short gain. 9 minutes to go in the half. Second and long upcoming.
Yeah, and as we learned last year with this Patriots defense, going between the 20s is not the most difficult thing in the world. Going from the 20 down to where they paint that little Patriots stuff down there in the end zone, that's the hard part. And as a young quarterback, you're going to see so many different looks out of the Patriots once you get to this part of the field. It's just very, very difficult to understand everything you're seeing.
Second and 9. Mahomes wide open as Kelsey hurdles his way inside the 10-yard line. Boy, how did he get that open? Hurdled over Duron Harmon. First and goal.
Yeah, just going to be some congestion in there for Patrick Chung. He thought he was probably going to get another shot from Trey Flowers there, but then watch it go, oh, Skeets Nehemiah. Yep. It'll come as a shock to you, Al. I never tried that once in my career.
Oh, I bet you did. You just forgot about it. Kareem Hunt is in the backfield. First and goal. Hunt again. Picks up 3. Second down and goal for Kansas City.
I was talking about Kareem Hunt a little bit. He had 6 100-yard games last season, just 1 so far here. And I think it's nothing he's doing. I just think that they've added so many weapons, you know. Sammy Watkins, Chris Conley's come back. We talk about Hill, we talk about Kelsey. There's a lot of choices.
For the defense, it's almost like pick your poison. That's Hill now who lines up in the backfield on 2nd and goal. Rolling out and throwing, and that's caught by the fullback, Anthony Sherman. Had a big game last week. Trey Flowers makes the tackle. And 3rd down and goal coming up.
I can't tell you what a fan I am of Trey Flowers. This guy understands football as well as any quarterback who's playing. He's going to go all the way across this formation to end up making this play. He stays low. He fights through double teams. He gets pressure on the quarterback. He is a real talent.
Crowd roaring. Mahomes, he's got a bunch to the left. Straight back, up in the pocket, bouncing away, fires, and that's broken up in the end zone. Try to hit Sammy Watkins there. Stephon Gilmore was the defender on the play. And Mahomes almost went across the line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, it was really just great speed on the part of Gilmore. I think is right over there. He is behind this route, and just as Mahomes sees him wide open, you just saw Gilmore hit the jets and get there just in time. But this is what we've seen Mahomes do all season. Buy time, moving around in that pocket, and allowing these talented receivers to get open.
Chip shot field goal attempt, 24 yards for Butker, who's now 3 for 3 tonight. 6:21 to the half. 17-9 Patriots. Line drive kick, resulting in a touchback. Belichick and Brady, 19 seasons together. So how does that match up with some other areas of life? Well, the time spent in the same job in America, 4.2 years. Same home, a little less than 6. Length of the average marriage, 19 and a half. Think of it what you wish. 5 championships in 19 seasons.
I want to hang out with the guys and gals that put those things together. We have a good time.
Yep. 53. Brady begins this drive from the 25-yard line. Play action under pressure, dumps it off. James White gets into the action and picks up 18 yards out to the 43-yard line. White's first catch of the night.
Yeah, some people just have a knack for this. They really do. You'll see James White just step up and wait and then sneak out late over here. We're talking about how well the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid do these screen passes. Well, Dante Scarnecchia, Josh McDaniels, they're not too bad at it either. It's one of the things I really enjoy about watching both these teams, just the pure precision of what they do.
Nice hole here again for White. To the 48-yard line. Well, you think about Brady and Belichick, and you know the story if you follow football. You go back, Tom, 6th-round draft choice, 199th, and the quarterback here when Bill took over was Drew Bledsoe. He got hurt in the 2001 season. The rest is history. On to a Super Bowl, and they are a regular appearer in the ultimate game.
Yeah, a little conversation in the offseason. Brady missed some things he'd never missed before. Was he upset about some things that had happened? But all gets put back together, and here we go again, another Super Bowl chase.
There's always a lot of drama around the Patriots as Brady swings it to the outside, and that's caught by Patterson. Stays in bounds, picks up the first down in Kansas City territory. Hands the ball to Skandrick. No thank you.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of sort of gadget guys in this game. Cordero Patterson being one for sure. We see Tyreek Hill getting a lot of these kinds of plays as well. But there just has never been anybody much more exciting than Cordero Patterson just getting the ball in his hands. You know, we've seen him on kickoff return so many times, take it the distance. spectacular athlete. Now he's in the backfield.
Two-time Pro Bowler as a return man. Now you've got Edelman going next to nowhere as he's forced out of bounds by Scandrick, the former Dallas Cowboy, gain of 2.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting, isn't it, that Orlando Scandrick now is playing outside because Kendall Fuller is so good inside. We saw Scandrick all those years with the Dallas Cowboys as a slot. So they have Fuller that played the slot, they have Scandrick that played the slot, and they have Josh Shaw, who used to play the slot in Cincinnati. So a lot of depth there for Bob Sutton in the secondary.
Fuller, one of the guys who came over from Washington in the deal that sent Alex Smith to the Redskins. 2nd and 8. Play clock at 1. And Brady says, I'll take a timeout right here. 3.5 to the half. New England up 17-9. Reed and Belichick. So Andy in his 20th season, Bill in his 24th. Remember, he was at Cleveland for 5 years before he came here. Head to head, 3 wins for Belichick and 2 for Andy. Points scored exactly the same, 141 entering tonight. They met in Super Bowl 34 in Jacksonville. Chris did the game with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, 24-21 divisional playoff in 2015. Pats won that one 27-20.
Yeah, Andy Reid, though, last 2 regular season games against the Patriots scored over 40. I guess it wasn't Andy, but his team.
Last year in the opener, big rally in the 4th quarter that night. 2nd and 8, put the pressure on Brady, but he's going to flip it down the left side for Gordon, and a flag is thrown as Gordon doesn't come up with it, but Steven Nelson is there with a penalty flag drop inside the 5. And that's going to set them up for a likely 1st and goal.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. The ball is placed in spot of the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
Yeah, Steven Nelson's the guy that every team tends to go after. There he is, guarding him. And because they are a single high safety team, which means basically instead of really 2 deep safeties, they only have 1. Everybody takes their shot on the outside against these corners. And the New England Patriots, now that they have Josh Gordon, no exception. He is going to be that guy.
It's a 37-yard penalty. 1st and goal. Put Devlin in fullback. Brady's going to look to throw and does and hits Devlin. Yeah, that pass looked like that Brady just threw looked like the same arc on the pass to Edelman for the touchdown as he tries to hit Gordon that time.
The great ones have the ability to drop it in. I don't know if this makes sense, but as a receiver, when somebody's on you, if it comes from a higher trajectory, it's harder for the defender to get there. If it's at a low angle, he can reach up and bat the pass away. So everybody always wants it to be higher, but they're harder to hit.
You would know. 2nd down and goal, and now you've got action here.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 95. Penalties half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
And half the distance is only about a yard.
Now, this is how disciplined the Patriots are. Most teams don't go hard count when they're about to score a touchdown because they're afraid that their guys are going to jump off and get marked back 5 yards from there instead of gaining a yard forward.
4 penalties against the Chiefs, none against New England. Into the end zone, can he get there? Goes Sony Michel, and he's going to be marked down inside the 1. It'll be 3rd down and goal, and this is a situation through the years so many times we've seen Brady sneak it over.
Yeah, and how does he do it? Usually he takes the ball right and almost jumps and extends the ball. I'm not sure how you stop that. Because all the guys on the defensive line, they have to get so low, and the linebackers are standing behind them. They don't really have time to run up and knock the ball out of his hand, but I would guess about a 50% chance that's the play you see here.
It'll come on the other side of the 2-minute warning. We come to the 2-minute break. 8-point New England lead. The Brain Trust. What are we going to see now on a 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line? Does Brady sneak it? Devlin's in the game. So is Michel behind him.
59.
Give it to Michel. In he goes to the touchdown. "75 yards. Took him only 7 plays this time. 3 runs, 4 passes. And they extend the margin to, in a moment, it'll be 24-9 with the extra point.
Al, they were listening to you. They were playing the quarterback sneak. So what do? You block down and you run it through the gap right there. I mean, that's the hard part. And I guarantee you, Tom Brady has the ability at the line of scrimmage to do either one he wants. You want to collapse down? Fine, we'll run off tackle for a touchdown.
Hands the ball off. Michel into the end zone. Gostkowski for the extra point. And with 1:57 to go in the half, New England stretches the advantage to 15 in Foxborough. So the Chiefs have to climb uphill now, down by 15. They will get the ball to start the second half. You got Jordan Devey now playing center because Mitch Morse went back to the locker room. I think he might be in concussion protocol. Here from Michel shortly. As Mahomes throws, and it's dropped over the middle right there, in and out of the hands of Spencer Ware. We'll go to Michel.
Yeah, Mitch Morse went back to the locker room. He is in the concussion protocol. Jordan Devey did some practice snapping to Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. So as you mentioned, he is in there at center. Now Josh Gordon, on the other hand, spent some time in the tent. He is out of the tent for the Patriots, but interesting change on the O-line here, Al.
Very much so. Rene Tardif is also hurt. He has been a starter all season long. They got Andrew Wiley, who comes into the game in Devey's old spot at right guard. Second down and 10. Mahomes throws, and that is caught, and will forward progress at a first down for Kelsey, and it does. They move the sticks. Jason McCourty makes the tackle, first down.
Andy Reid was telling us, though, that Jordan Devey probably a better center than he is a guard, so he's in a pretty natural position.
Picked him up from San Francisco. From the 35-yard line, Mahomes surveying, flushed out, flag thrown. And for the moment, it's caught there by Tyreek Hill, who comes back along the sideline, covered by Rowe. Hill goes to the sideline. We'll get the call in a moment. Looks over toward the Patriot bench to ask Belichick what he wants to do here. Pass was a short pass. It would be second and short or first and.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Offense. Number 72. 10-yard penalty. First down.
He'll take the 10-yard penalty. It's Eric Fisher, who was the #1 overall draft choice back in 2013.
Yeah, this won't be hard to see. Really, both of them involved a little bit. I think that Wise got so sick of it, he just fired back at him, and that's what they do on offensive and defensive lines.
First and 20. Ware takes the pass in the flat, gets it out to the 30. Kansas City has all of its timeouts. Clock down to 1:10. Gain of 5. It'll be second down and 15.
Yeah, and so far really unable to uncork Tyreek Hill, because with this lead now they're going to give him plenty of room.
Mahomes stepping up, fires, and it's incomplete at the 38-yard line. You've got Jason McCourty covering on Hill that time, and it's third down and 15.
You know, this is a defensive secondary now that Patrick Mahomes is playing that has a lot of veteran guys back there. They can dig pretty deep into Bill Belichick's mind as to what they want to do because of all that experience on the back end. And so they're not really playing man coverages. They're just sort of giving him a lot to look at. I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Third and 15. Big conversion here, otherwise they're going to leave Brady some time on the other side here. And Mahomes will fire deep downfield, wide open at the 41-yard line. Making the catch is Hill. So Mahomes extends, goes the other way. Big first down. and it stops the clock with the timeout at 39 seconds.
I just have to laugh. I mean, Mahomes is just he's like Gumby. He can twist his body and make throws that are just, watch him. Gets all the way turned around. This is about a 35-yard throw down the field that maybe 2 or 3 guys in the league could make. We saw him do this one time and threw it all the way back to the right-hand side of the field to Travis Kelce, and I had to replay that thing about 10 times. I said, did he really do what I just saw?
He can also throw left-handed if he has to.
Yeah, we saw that one too.
Saw that against Denver. Mahomes from the 43. Again, extending, going the other way. This time he's going to keep it, trying to get out of bounds. And he does, despite Flowers tugging on his shirt. Stops the clock with 31 seconds. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Tonight before the game, early before the game. So, talking about throwing left-handed.
I expected him to kick a field goal. So far he's been able to do everything. One time in Little League, they had him playing shortstop at 5 years old, threw it so hard across the infield, knocked the glasses off the kid playing first base. They told him, if you want to play shortstop, you have to roll it from now on. His dad said, what?
He was drafted by the Detroit Tigers, talked to his dad before the game, and I said, if he'd have signed, would he be in the big leagues? He said, for sure. 2nd and 4.
Whoops.
Mahomes this time rolling right and fires, caught 29-yard line, and will they take another timeout here? And they do, as Travis Kelce makes the catch. So they're in field goal range, but they're looking for field goals. Aren't going to beat New England, you know that. They already have 3 of them tonight.
Yeah, one of the problems you play the Patriots is you have to try and block these monster linebackers like Hightower here with a back, and that is virtually impossible. You see these guys do the same thing. All of them try and chop him down around his knees. That time Damian Williams. And it just is an impossibility to do. Mahomes saw it coming and got out of there. But that has always been sort of the secret sauce behind this Patriots defense. Those big linebackers against little backs.
So Hightower had that big interception before that led to a touchdown. 22 seconds. They have 1 timeout. First down. Mahomes throws, caught, stepping out of bounds. A Tyreek Hill. That's a first down. Took only 5 seconds.
Well, Al, I understand that you want to get 3 points, but you're playing Tom Brady, you're playing Bill Belichick, you're on the road. You need a touchdown right here. I'm being really aggressive at this part of the field. I'm thinking I need a touchdown to get my team back in the game. I am not even remotely thinking about field goals at this particular time.
Down by 15. Hill comes into the backfield. Mahomes stepping up, trying to get away, and does. Throws to the end zone, and it is tipped and intercepted by Harmon, who thinks about coming out and then takes a knee. Kelce, the intended receiver. Mahomes also took a shot. Hightower put the heat on, and with 4 seconds to the half, the crowd erupting as the Patriots hold them and get the ball.
Well, I think everybody in the building was expecting Kelce to be the guy who's going to go to, but watch what Hightower is making him go through just to get off the line of scrimmage. So then he gets up and he's in a little hook, sees his quarterback scramble, and then you've got Mahomes trying to escape, and he just took a chance. And to be honest with you, I would have too. So Hightower jams Kelce and then has the pressure on Mahomes to make the play. What a first half we've seen out of Hightower.
Had the pick before. Kneel down will end the first half. All Patriots. 24-9. We'll see if that Chiefs offense can get untracked. As we start the third quarter, run back here. Draymond Smith Out to the 25-yard line goes the rookie from Central Arkansas. We go to Michelle.
Well, as the Chiefs ran up the tunnel at halftime, Al, defensive end Chris Jones was a massive presence vocally and physically as he yelled out to every player and coach, come on, man, let's go. It's coming. Let's go. We've got a whole half. Come on, Mahomes. It's coming. We've got a whole half. And he did that to every player and coach and didn't stop until everyone was in the locker room. As for Bill Belichick, he knows no lead is safe. He told me we got to score more points and keep playing good defense, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Let's see what happens as they start this drive with Kareem Hunt in the backfield from the 25-yard line. Start with Hunt on the ground. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Go back and look at what Dont'a Hightower has done tonight.
Well, as good as Tom Brady's been, the start of the first half was definitely Dont'a Hightower. Comes up with the early interception off the fake blitz there, and has just been a dominant presence over Kelce all night long. Even when he gets no pressure whatsoever, it has been his disruption of their best weapon. And then this play that led to the interception that really turned the tide in the first half.
2nd and 6. Hunt again. Harder than 3 yards. Trey Flowers trips him up. 3rd down and 3. You know, Chris, you look at the Patriots against the AFC since 2009 in this stadium. They are 54-3. 2 Buffalo wins in last year's opener, Kansas City.
Yeah, it just does not happen often, but if it's going to happen tonight, this play needs to be successful. They need to get some forward momentum going at this point in the game.
3rd down, long 2 from the 33-yard line. Mahomes surveys, flushed out again. Chase down the sideline, getting free is Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt is able to get Kansas City right back into the game. Man, that was shades of last year here in the opener. 67 yards on a 3rd and 2.
Well, sometimes it just means so much when you have a presence in the middle of the field. I think with those 2 deep safety looks that Kelce was really thinking that he was going to have some help down the field, talking about McCourty down the field, that just never happened. And then on the move again, right on the money. So there we see Patrick Mahomes and just how explosive he can be.
So Butker now for the extra point. That takes a little bit of air out of the crowd, at least for the moment. And the kick is good. So 1.5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Back to a 1-possession game. Mahomes extending, finds Hunt, 24-16. From the goal line, Cordero Patterson works his way for a 30-yard return up to the 30, and there is Sherman in on the tackle, and we go back to the touchdown.
Yeah, might have a little brother-on-brother crime here. Here's Devin McCourty, and there's Jason McCourty, and as Tyreek Hill came in here, I'm not so sure he wasn't supposed to stay on that half of the field. Jason just had the flat. And then because Devin jumped it so hard when Hill, the more dangerous threat, came in there just wasn't anybody left deep.
Patriots from the 30-yard line. Brady has time. Goes to the fullback. That's James Devlin for a pickup of 4 yards. Freeland Speaks, the rookie out of Mississippi, makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, and they bring pressure on the very first play against Tom Brady. So maybe they're tired of seeing them take the ball and run it. It has been a dominant first half performance on the part of this offensive line. So it looks like Bob Sutton's going to give them a few different looks here in the second half.
And New England, 83 rushing yards on 17 carries. And there goes Michelle again. Stuffed a couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. Early 3rd quarter. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Foxborough, Massachusetts on Sunday Night Football. Andy Reid, 20th season as a head coach Spent those 14 in Philadelphia. You thought he might take a break at the end of that. Nope. Chiefs snatched him right up, and Andy said, I didn't need any break.
Yeah, and he liked the organization, didn't he?
Very much so. Always been a first-class organization. Go back to Lamar Hunt. Son Clark now running the team. 3rd down and 2. And wide open goes James White for a first down to the 49-yard line. Gaping hole.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they can do with James White. So he started out wide as a receiver. Tom Brady said, no, let me bring you back in here because I like the run look inside. Look at the gaping hole in there. Tom Brady saw it, and they took advantage.
Michelle now in there as they keep Devlin and Edmondson a lot of action tonight. Fullback helps lead the way. Gain of 4. 2nd and 6 on the Kansas City side of the field at the 48-yard line.
One of the things as a linebacker when you're playing this Patriots team is they do so many double teams that when it's coming at you, you have to attack this thing because when they're going off with double teams, you have to draw that guy off quickly as you can. And that time you saw a little more attacking action by those linebackers than what we saw in the first half.
Hogan comes across the formation, sets in the slot.
38.
Gordon down at the bottom. 2nd and 6 off the fake. Pass caught by Gordon on a slant. Almost impossible to stop. 35-yard line. Scandrick covering on the play. First down.
Well, if he does nothing but catch slants and goes, he is going to be really valuable to Tom Brady. But he's 225 pounds, Al, and when he comes across there, he looks like one of those power forwards rebounding. He just snatches the ball out of there. Even the one he dropped on the pass interference, he really caught it. It just kind of bounced out when the ball hit the ground.
As we said at the beginning, well, if he can stay off that suspended list, and you follow football, you know what the story is with Gordon. With Cleveland back in 2013. Over here in a trade as the catch is made, and once again it is Gordon. You know, you root for a guy, you know, so far so good with him here. You just hope, you know, it's a day-to-day thing, but you know they say, hey, he's a great teammate, studies like crazy, and you know what a weapon for Brady.
And smart. That's what every single one of us were told, that his ability to retain this offense. Obviously, a lot of this happens at the line of scrimmage. So for a new guy to come in here, I think Tom Brady was even a little surprised at how quickly he was able to pick it up and adapt.
2nd and 1. And the ball is handed to Michelle, and that's another first down. Another long drive and productive drive for the Patriots. Drive started back at their own 30-yard line. A lot of balance with 4 runs, 3 passes.
It's just so good. Julian Edelman here is going to replace Gronkowski. He's going to come down. He's going to block the smaller guy so Gronkowski can block the bigger guy. So instead of Gronk being wasted on a safety, you bring Edelman in there, let him block the safety, and pick up the first down.
Well, they've only gone to Gronk on one occasion tonight. Caught it for 16 yards. And again through the middle. Boy, another gaping hole to Sony Michel. They're just running him ragged right now. Anthony Hitchens makes the tackle. And that's 123 rushing yards already for the Patriots.
Yeah, so they're trying everything right now. So they're going here, here, here. They're crossing everything, and it doesn't matter. The Patriots are just a bludgeon out there right now. They are just attacking right downhill, and this was the thing that I thought was the most concerning watching the tape of the Kansas City Chiefs. Could they hold up against that?
So far the answer is no. 1st and goal from the 6. Another run. This is Michel. You don't see this very often in the National Football League these days, but the Patriots with more running plays than passing plays tonight. 23 on the ground and 19 in the air.
And it's so frustrating for a guy like Patrick Mahomes, right? A little smile there. That wasn't bad. But for him, they just hit the big play. They're right back in the game. Hit a long play. Give me the ball. Let's get back out there. And then you have to watch this slow grind down the field to take away everything you just had.
And it's a grind that's consumed about 6 minutes at this point. 2nd and goal. Brady buys time, floats one into the end zone again, and it's incomplete. Intended for Edelman, covered by Kendall Fuller. It'll be 3rd down and goal for the Pats.
Yeah, Kendall Fuller came over in that Alex Smith deal, and basically, you know, that was sort of not talked about a whole lot, but Kendall Fuller had a great year last year for Washington. And now comes the big play. This is when a lot of times the Kansas City Chiefs will only rush 3 and try and clog up the middle of the field. Typically, if you're going to throw a completion here, they want you throwing to the outside. Gronkowski far left, but a lot of coverage out there on him.
Brady looked that way, now the other way, now to the right side, too high, intended for Gordon. And he was covered well, so it's 4th down and goal, and in comes the field goal unit.
All right, let's take a look. They're going to try and get Gordon isolated on the outside. A little switch off. And really had an opportunity. I think Tom Brady over time will teach Gordon to, when he gets in the middle of that zone, just sit down and give me a clean shot in there. Still working through a few of those kinks, but that's a big stop for Kansas City.
23-yard attempt for Gostkowski is good. So 7:17 remaining in the 3rd, and the lead is now 11.
Patrick Mahomes starting to flash some of the magic that has made him the darling of the NFL so far this season. Look at his delivery, drops it down a little bit, but then straight up and over the top. But as good as he is in the pocket so far this year, the magic really comes from outside the pocket. And when he gets that part of his game going, very difficult to stop him. He's not an overly fast guy. He's about 4'8", but he seems to have this real innate sense of when it's time to go, and his ability to twist and contort that body of his and make throws, really second to none in the league right now.
Off to a fantastic start in his starting career through the first 5 weeks, but facing the kind of adversity, uphill battle tonight that he hasn't seen since the season began. Let's see what happens as Kansas City gets the ball. Tremon Smith from the 5-yard line, and a good run back here up to the 37-yard line.
Well, and one of the things that Patrick Mahomes has to fight a little bit is he used to be a baseball pitcher. Watch how far down that right hand goes. He drops it almost below his knees here and then wraps it all the way back around. So when he gets back into football, has to tighten that motion up a little bit. He also used to play a little shortstop, which he credits for some of the off-platform throws that he makes to create some of that magic.
And he was pretty good at basketball, too, he told us last night.
I think he's pretty good at whatever that kid wants to do.
You name it. I forgot to ask him how he bowls. From the 37-yard line, Mahomes. It's a little high. You know, Chris, I think about, you know, the great bard and philosopher, Bill Parcells.
Yes.
And you know what Bill would say? You know, hey, put away the anointing oil.
Right. Don't put him in the Hall of Fame just yet.
6 games into the, but you know, it's a pretty promising start. So, and I think it's going to be a pretty good career too.
Well, it certainly is. And one of the problems in the game tonight is he's not getting quite the opportunities because of the way the Patriots are moving up and down the field so methodically. So that can get frustrating sitting over there on the bench and watching that too.
2nd down and 10. Over the middle, that's caught, and then Hill goes to the ground. He's shy of the first down by a yard, Tyreek Hill. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and this is the RPO we all talk about, but you can tell by everybody up front run blocking. So they're all run blocking. Strictly up to Mahomes now to make the read. Does he like the slant? He does. Pull it down and create a little offense. And when they get this going, good things happen. And now we have Tyreek Hill in the backfield.
You see 17 consecutive first downs allowed on 3rd and 1 to 3 yards here in that situation right now. Can they stop him?
Whoa.
And Tyreek Hill looks like he's a little short of the first down. See what they spotted? And they're going to give him a very nice spot right there.
They gave him a nice spot, but if he'd have cut it up one time sooner, he might have shot that gap with his speed. I thought he had a chance. Let's see if he does pick that up.
You know, you could challenge it. Those are the official sticks on that side.
That was, I'm not sure about that.
He just challenged, so Belichick getting word from upstairs. These are always a little difficult to win. You have to find that landmark.
You know, but he had the ball in his right hand as he went out to the
England
right side.
The ruling on the field of the spot where the runner went out of bounds. Timeout.
All right, a challenge. The result when we come back to Foxborough. Still looking at it. Terry McCauley with us every week now. Terry, what's your perspective on this play?
Well, Al, the rule is it's where the ball crosses the sideline, and we've got a great shot coming where it looks like it's crossing clearly short of the 47. Really, I think I'd put it at the 46 and a half.
After review, the runner went out of bounds. The ball was behind him. Therefore, he did not reach the 47-yard line. We replaced the ball at the 46-yard line. It will be 4th and a half. And will the game clock operator please set the game clock to 6:26, please?
And for the moment, Andy Reid keeps the offense out there. So does he go for it?
Absolutely.
On 4th and a half.
Absolutely. I think every bit of analytics at this point would tell us, with what's going on with Tom Brady on the other side of the ball, you have to keep possession here.
And we showed that graphic about the fact that New England has been unable to stop anybody in 17 forays on 3rd or 4th and 1. Now it's 4th and 1. Kansas City is 3 for 3 on 4th down plays this season.
76% chance of converting 4th and this short in this situation, and they go shotgun.
Hunt is the running back. Now Hill lines up deep in the backfield. And Mahomes will keep it and pick up the first down as he gets to the 50-yard line with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd.
It's one of the things that I love about what's going on in the NFL now. I think in part because of the success of Doug Peterson. Teams have quit chickening out. I mean, possession of the ball, you only get 12 possessions a game. You have to be able to pick up half a yard in key situations to win in the National Football League.
Perfectly put. No more chickening out. From the 49-yard line. Hunt gets free again. Kareem Hunt. Down he goes at the 20-yard line. Deron Harmon made the stop. 246 scrimmage yards in his game here last year. Tonight, 77 running and 105 receiving.
It's just great patience here, getting into the hole and allowing the blocking to develop and actually get up on Hightower this time. Good job by Eric Fisher, but it really was the patience of Hunt. Going to switch hands with the football here and allow that stiff arm to happen.
They give him a break. Spencer Ware is the running back, and this is Ware working his way and backing his way for a gain of about 3, and we go to Michelle.
Well, I spoke to Kareem Hunt about coming back to the place where he had his record-setting debut last season, and when I asked him what the most prominent memory is from that game, he said fumbling the football. That comes first before the touchdowns or anything else. But he said he's definitely excited to come back here to the first place he ever played in an NFL game, and he doesn't plan on fumbling again, guys.
Yeah, that was a stunner, and he hasn't fumbled again. Well, over 400 touches since that fumble. They kept him in the game. That's the kind of thing, you know, maybe you take a rookie out after that or whatever. But Andy stuck with him, and what a night he had, and what a night he's having tonight. And this is Ware to the outside, and Ware will be 1.5 yards short of the first down. Jason McCourty makes the stop. It's 3rd down.
Where they are starting to show a lot of pressure inside, but ultimately dropping out of it. They have rarely come with everybody into the middle of the field there. So once again, though, that 3-man receiver group with motion by the back to that same side has been a key play.
3rd down, 2.
Hightower right over Kelsey again.
Mahomes flushed out, throws, and it's knocked down. Try to float one in there, and it's 4th down and 2. And let's see what Reed wants to do here. And they're going to send in the field goal unit.
Yeah, I think here they're going to try and cut it to a 1-score game. He tried to drift one over the top. And I think as Patrick Mahomes gains a little experience, he will understand what a weapon he is running the football. You know, let's convert that one and then come back and get a pass.
Landon Roberts, the linebacker, knocked it down. 30-yard attempt to try to bring it back to a 1-possession game. Colquitt puts it down, and the perfect season for Butler continues. 3.5 left in the third. 27-19 New England. Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, about a 30-mile jaunt from downtown Boston. Nice night, clear skies, temperature now at 46. And that kick will sail all the way through the end zone, and Brady goes to work from the 25-yard line. Tom Brady, he is the ultimate technician. Have a look.
If you do that, you have torque. If you do this, you don't have any torque.
That's what I feel. So it's that.
Right. All right.
I've got to be here. We just got to get this.
How easy is that? You see how relaxed you feel up here? Yeah. Money. Money. I don't know what that ball did, but that's a perfect delivery.
So that was Brady working with Tom House, who's become the quarterback whisperer, former pitcher. The Atlanta Braves, best known for catching Hank Aaron's 715th home run in the Atlanta bullpen back in 1974. From the 25-yard line, this is James White. Another burst through the middle. Gain of 12, first down.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at Tom Brady and what you saw in that video. He's going to hold that left elbow tight into his body and then watch the hips torque and fly around. Actually, the right arm comes over the top of that tucked in left elbow. But the other thing it does, Alan, you can throw garbage around the house or whatever. I did it when I got home, or a tennis ball or whatever. It really forces your arm to go very high, and you see that in Tom's delivery as well.
I want to see Holly's reaction if you throw garbage around the house.
Okay.
From the 36, first down. Brady deep downfield, and that is going to be almost intercepted by Jordan Lucas. Had one last week and almost had one here, intended for Josh Gordon. A little bit short, second down.
Well, you're starting to see just how much confidence that Tom Brady has in Josh Gordon. He's going to give him a chance on some of these jump ball plays. But we've seen a pretty good effort tonight out of Jordan Lucas. And one thing you do not want to see is Jordan Lucas if he made that interception, because he looked brilliant returning that one he had a week ago.
Local kid, grew up in Worcester, Mass. Moving up into a starting role with all of the injuries back there.
Throwing those two linebackers up and a blitz look. We'll see.
Play clock at 1. Just do get it off on 2nd and 10, and Brady's going to go deep again. There's a flag, and that pass is incomplete, intended for White down the left side. New England has not been penalized tonight. In fact, they lead the league. They have the fewest penalties and fewest penalty yards. And Zippo tonight, 5 against Kansas City. Here's Hussey.
Legal formation, offense. Number 77 went in motion and left the tackle uncovered, which is an illegal formation. Kansas City has elected to decline the penalty. Third down.
So they decline it because it was Gronk, I think, who went in motion. Instead of it being 2nd down and 15, they opt for 3rd down and 10. Good call.
Yeah, and this is the moment. You know, for the Kansas City Chiefs, you want to make this comeback. This is the moment right here. You have now an opportunity, 3rd and 10. They went with a double inside blitz from the 2 linebackers that last one. Let's see what they come back with here.
3rd and 10. Brady. Look at that protection. Also, the secondary is doing its work. And Tom now in trouble. That ball is out again. And this time Kansas City recovers at the 29-yard line. Alan Bailey comes up with it. So Brady had all night moving around. Give credit to that coverage by the Chiefs on the back end. And then they forced Brady to lose the ball and a big turnover.
Well, this is what Kansas City's famous for. They're only going to rush 3 initially. So you'll see just 3 guys blitzing. But now watch these 2 guys. Once Tom Brady starts to scramble, the heck with all that. They're going to go attack Tom Brady. But the coverage on the back end was good enough to where Brady really felt like he had nowhere to go. And that was the moment. This is the opportunity now for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Couldn't get the ball to Edelman, who had sprung free. Breeland Speaks is the guy who got the ball loose. Bailey recovers. Now from the 29, the quick pass over the middle is a little behind Hill, who can't make the catch. Second down.
Boy, they had it. They had a double slot blitz coming, and Mahomes made the proper read on the hot read. He just missed the throw, you know, and I don't think Tyreek Hill is used to running those hot reads like that. He's not a big target, but Mahomes' eyes should have lit up because they brought both off the left edge and just missed it.
Second and 10. Mahomes throws wide open. There is Sammy Watkins. And Watkins with a first down as he gets the ball to the 13-yard line. Came over in a deal with the Rams. He was with the Rams last year. For that, Buffalo for 3.
Out, nobody in the middle of the field. And Tyreek Hill on a post, you have to throw that ball. He has to see that coverage. Now, they pick it up anyway, but that was a donated touchdown if they just get the ball to Tyreek Hill.
Settle for a 15-yard gain. Now Hunt, too much traffic there for him. Minute and a half to go in the quarter. Second down. Boy, the Chiefs trying to do what they did last year. They were down 17-14 at the half and came from behind with a big fourth quarter to win the game 42-27.
Well, it's such a huge opportunity for Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm pretty sure that everybody now in the AFC, other than the Chiefs, have at least 2 losses, so they could really separate from the pack if they could come back here.
And they have 2 road division wins. They have a win at Pittsburgh and trying to pull it off in Foxborough. Second and 10. Mahomes in the end zone. Hill for the touchdown.
Fool me once.
Tyreek Hill.
That was pretty. That time they had a safety in the middle of the field, but it didn't matter because Tyreek Hill, the speedster, was the inside guy. So even though there's a safety here, you run past him, and nobody can keep up with Tyreek Hill. So they fooled him on the first one, not on the second one. That was a pretty little touch pass, too.
So it's a 2-point game, but they're going to send out the extra point group here. And eschew the opportunity to tie the game as Butker kicks it through. So New England is able to maintain its lead. But what a game and what a finish we are set up for in New England with 56 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it's 27-26. Tyreek Hill, talk about a guy who can get into the end zone any which way. Third season, 20 from scrimmage, 17 receiving and 3 rushing. 5 on returns, 4 on punts, 1 on a kickoff. Gale Sayers, the last player in the NFL with 20-plus scrimmage TDs and 5 return TDs over any 3-year span from 66 to 68. And the average length of a touchdown for Hill coming into this game, counting the returns, was 50 yards.
That's unbelievable.
That's just the baby one right there.
I mean, there are certain coverages you can't play against this guy. I mean, it's amazing. I've only seen a couple of guys in the history of the NFL that were like that. And Bob Hayes was probably a little bit like that. Randy Moss was a little bit like that. But this young man has, man, what a show he puts on.
So a 1-point game as Butker sends that one through the end zone again. All night long he's been doing that, and Brady begins this drive from the 25-yard line. NFL and the American Cancer Society continuing their longtime partnership on Crucial Catch. Visit NFL.com/Crucial Catch for personalized tips on reducing your cancer risk. And over 150 cancer survivors, their family members, part of a ceremony on the field before tonight's game.
Those ladies are tougher than anybody playing in this game. Then two.
From the 25-yard line on first down, Sony Michel. Speaking of Michel, here's Michel.
Well, Al, in training camp, Patrick Chung met Jack Berry, a Montana boy who was diagnosed in July with a form of bone cancer. Chung gave Jack an autographed set of gloves, while Jack gave Chung an autographed Jack Strong wristband, and Chung told me he never takes the band off. Friday after practice, the two visited again, after which the 11-year-old said, "I just had such a great day." And we all wish Jack well as he begins 20 weeks of chemotherapy tomorrow, Al.
You bet. Good story. Patrick Chung, quarterback of that secondary, second down and 9. Brady throws, and Edelman reaches out for a flag is thrown, though. Contact made, might be against the offense, and I think it is. It's going to be against Edelman. So it's offensive interference.
Yeah, Orlando Scandrick really in good position on this one. Right at the tail end, what Edelman does with that left arm. It's that little push. And it doesn't look like much, but all you have to do is change the momentum of that defensive player.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team.
All right.
Holding, defense, number 23. Pass interference, offense, number 11. Those fouls will offset. Second down.
We go back to 2nd and 9.
Other side of the field, there's Kendall Fuller working on Chris Hogan. Sure, there was a little jersey tug we couldn't see.
So back once we started before the play, 2nd down and 9. Brady fires over the middle. That's Edelman wide open. Takes the ball to midfield. Tackled by Nelson, and that will take us to the final quarter. End of 3, and a good one in Foxborough. 27-26 Patriots. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Look at the quarterbacks tonight. 273 for Mahomes through the air. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Brady 158, 1 touchdown, no picks. Mahomes has not been sacked, and they've gotten Brady to the ground twice, including once when they got the ball out. This is Sony Michel to the 50-yard line. He goes. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and it's getting a little more interesting now for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, because with an injury to the right tackle position now for New England and Marcus Cannon, they have Adrian Waddle in there, and their best pass rusher is Dee Ford. What Tom Brady is trying to get to are those deep crossing routes. He just hit Edelman on one because they're clogging up the middle of the field, so it's going to take a little time. We have to keep our eye on Adrian Waddle.
2nd and 7. Keep it on the ground. And this is White. Breaking tackles to the 38. We go back to Michel.
Yeah, well, Patriots right tackle Marcus Cannon went back to the locker room. He spent time in the tent with the UNC. He is questionable with a head injury. This is a guy with 3 known concussions, the most recent last year, Al.
So up front, take a look at the last play that Cannon was involved in. Helmet to helmet right there with Alan Bailey. First down at the 38-yard line. And on the ground, whoa, boy, what a tackle that was. Reggie Ragland burst through, untouched, loss of 1.
Yeah, the old run through here by Ragland's just going to sprint right through the gap and hit White in the backfield. And those are the plays that Bob Sutton and the Kansas City Chiefs defensively live for. because now they have a chance, right? Now they have a chance. Now you get to see if D Ford can take advantage of Adrian Waddle over there at right tackle.
2nd and 10. Here he comes. He's blocked out of the play. Pass goes to White. He's a yard shy of the first down. Tackled by Anthony Hitchens, the former Cowboy. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
Yeah, and Tom Brady says, well, I'm no dummy. I'm not going to sit back here and wait all day. So what does he do? He goes back to the guy who Super Bowl after Super Bowl makes plays for him, James White. Get it out of your hand quickly and help your new right tackle.
White 20 points in the big win in the Super Bowl, the comeback win against the Falcons a couple of years ago. 3rd and 1. Michel is the back. Devlin is the fullback. And they almost had him in the backfield, but instead he gets around the corner and moves the chains. First down at the 25-yard line. 19 carries for Michel and 99 yards on the ground.
Yeah, he's really given them an element, and I think that as this season goes along, we're so used to seeing James White as the receiver, Sony Michel as the runner. I think Sony Michel's a better receiver than most people know, and then we saw in college. So I think those two things will balance out a little bit, and it won't be quite as easy to determine.
Running number again to Michel, who is now into triple figures, 101 yards. You saw the average gain on a rush for New England over 5.5. That's a big number.
Yeah, and so many times we've made the statement that they're trying to play ball control and keep Tom Brady on the bench. Well, now Tom Brady's playing ball control and keeping Patrick Mahomes on the bench.
Bring James White in. Brady slips it to the outside, and White will get taken down to the 21. So a big 3rd down coming up. Terrence Smith makes the stop. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Well, we saw D Ford get a nice inside move on that one. So this is going to be a throw. It's going to be a quick one. And I think you're going to see some tight man coverage and maybe some pressure come out of Kansas City on this play to try and force Tom Brady to make a quick throw, see if they can jam up the receivers and make a play here.
That's White back into the backfield. Gordon top of the screen. Gronkowski is in the slot to the right. Hogan in the slot to the left, and Edelman outside. On 3rd and 6. Brady comes back this way, and the pass is incomplete. The crowd wants a flag intended for James White. The coverage on the play was Ron Parker, the safety, and the crowd said, hey, wait a second, he wasn't looking back for the ball. Officials say, nope.
Going to get the route coming out from the backfield. And if White had turned around and sort of come back through Parker, he would have gotten the call. It didn't happen. I think that's a good no call.
39-yard attempt. Gostkowski hits that one. With 10:22 to go in regulation. New England by 4. At the 1-yard line, Smith, Tremon Smith. Oh, good run back. Smith staying in bounds, and Tremon Smith is going to take this one all the way inside the 5-yard line. Skirting the sideline, Devin McCourty saves the touchdown for the moment. That was right in front of the Kansas City bench. He was able to remain in bounds, and this is a guy who has the job because DeAnthony Thomas is hurt on injury reserve, and the rookie out of Central Arkansas, 6th-round draft choice, with a huge play.
Yeah, and Dave Toub does it again, right? How many times have we seen this Kansas City special teams bunch change a football game? And bringing in a new returner, there's one of the absolute best. On the outside, you see Frank Zombo taking care of Matthew Slater, the Pro Bowler, and here you go for Patrick Mahomes.
97-yard return. You never see that without a touchdown, but you just saw it. From the 3 on 1st and goal, they hand the ball off to Watkins, and he goes nowhere. Sammy Watkins caught around the side from the end, 2nd down and goal.
Nicely played that time by Kyle Van Noy. I'm sure they practiced that one a bunch. But I think the guy with the hot hand right now is Kareem Hunt. And he has just provided enough magic in this series. They might find a way to work him in here.
Give it to Hunt. And Hunt keeps those legs churning, gets the ball to the 1-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
Well, in my estimation, this is 4-down territory. I think you stay after this because worst case scenario, you end up leaving the football down here inside the 1. So if I made a decision I'm going for it on 4th down, it changes your thinking here. Although they do go empty backfield. Hunt wide to the right, now back into the backfield.
5 wide, now they bring Hunt back into the backfield. Mahomes, and that one is going to be caught for a touchdown by Tyreek Hill. 2 receivers basically going into the same area, and the Kansas City Chiefs have their first lead since it was 3-0. Ooh. Wow.
That's interesting. That entire play was set up for Hunt coming out here in the flat, and yet it is going to be Hill who is going to get pushed all around back there, and basically an overthrow turned into a touchdown. Now, maybe Mahomes will tell me differently later, but you can see the entire pick play was set up for Hunt in the flat, and it was Hill with his track shoes on.
Oh, what an adjustment. And the extra point by Butler is good. And so the Patriots, who had a 24-9 lead at the half, find themselves in arrears right now, 33-30. And a little recap for you. Kansas City now up on top 33-30. Sony Michel, the rookie out of Georgia, 101 rushing yards. Twice into the end zone. Kareem Hunt, 80 rushing yards and 105 receiving yards tonight in a touchdown. Brady, 169 passing, a TD and a fumble, which was recovered by KC and led to a touchdown. Mahomes, 3 passing touchdowns. No interceptions in the second half after he had thrown 2 picks in the first half. Back and forth we go, 33-30 Kansas City, and New England starts this drive from the 25-yard line. Brady slips it to White, and White is able to leave Hitchens in his track. Speaks makes the tackle. Gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and Tom Brady's going back to the way he usually starts games. And the way he starts games is to drop back, get the ball out of his hand very quickly, and frustrate the pass rush. Now, I think it's a little different here. As long as Kansas City stays in those zone defenses that they're playing on early downs, it's wide open out there to James White, and occasionally he'll make somebody miss and break one of those for 20.
Michel in the backfield. 2nd and 1. Give it to him, and he's going to be wrestled down short of the first down by Jarvis Jenkins. So it's 3rd down and inches upcoming for the Patriots.
And now for Josh McDaniels, it's on the other foot here. So now he has to come up with some plays, and they have to come up with some decisions about what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised, knowing the way this game is going, if this wasn't 4-down territory for the Patriots as well.
3rd and a short yard, and they empty the backfield. Brady with 5 receivers. Edelman now comes inside. It's a 3-man rush. Brady has time. Brady goes deep down the right sideline for Hogan, who makes the catch at the 23 with the flag coming in. Kendall Fuller was beaten on the play. Flag comes in. Defensive interference. And a big gain in the first down. 42 yards on the play.
Pass interference Defense, number 23. The ball he places spot the foul. Automatic. First down.
Well, this is just one of those moments here. You've got Chris Hogan on the other side. Tom Brady really wanted to throw it to Julian Edelman, but the Chiefs played it perfectly, so he settles for about a 45-yard bomb, and what a play by Hogan. Completely wrapped up on his strong left arm, and he battles through it to make the catch. What a play.
From the 24 now, under 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Brady fires wide open. It's Hogan again. First and goal. To the 5 he goes. Tackled by Ron Parker. His fourth catch of the night for 78 yards total.
Yeah, the fake out to Edelman drew up all the coverage, and Brady just took advantage of it. That is the eyes of Tom Brady manipulating a defense and getting Chris Hogan wide open on the scene.
And Gronkowski splits wide to the right. Gronk has caught one pass tonight, 16 yards. At the end of the first quarter.
They're going to throw it to Gronk one-on-one. Are you kidding me?
Sooner or later, instead they go to the outside, and it's Edelman. Incomplete there, covered by Scandrick. Second down and goal.
Well, Tom Brady set his feet to throw it to Gronk on this slant, and then changed his mind at the last minute and threw it to Edelman. I mean, his feet were facing down the field, and then he changed the whole throwing motion and just couldn't connect accurately with those kind of mechanics.
Second down and goal from the 5. And Gronkowski in the block as White takes the ball to the 3-yard line. And so it's third and goal. Under 6 minutes to go.
Well, Gronkowski really has not been the threat that he's been. He's had the ankle issues, but you start there. That's where you start, and then I think I would be watching James White after that, who has been such a weapon for Tom Brady down here.
Third and goal. Brady under pressure. A flag is down in the end zone, and Tom gets into the end zone, pending the call. Well, you see Brady get a lot of touchdowns on runs, but they're all from the 1-yard line, almost never from the 4.
Holding defense number 22. That penalty will be declined. Resulting play is a touchdown.
Penalty on Scandrick. Brady to the end zone.
I don't know.
New England has the lead.
Breeland Speaks has him. I'm not sure if he thought maybe the ball was already gone and let go, but Tom Brady took full advantage, and I guess that's why they call him the GOAT. Watch Speaks here. He's going to come around, get good pressure, has him, and basically sort of lets go of him, I think worried about getting a foul.
Extra point is good. Tom Brady's last 7 rushing touchdowns have come from the 1-yard line. Last time more than one, 2012. Does it here, 19 career rushing touchdowns, and it's 37-33 New England. And back to Foxborough we come in a 4-point game with 5.5 remaining in regulation. We'll take it to the 25, and back we go to Brady's TD.
Watch Breeland Speaks here coming around the edge. He has Tom Brady. You tell me. He just lets him go. He thinks Brady threw the ball, didn't want to get a penalty, lets him go, and the GOAT takes it in, and Breeland Speaks is beside himself, having to watch the Patriots and Tom Brady celebrate. Look at him in the foreground. I can't believe what I just did.
Rookie out of Mississippi getting a lot of action tonight. Justin Houston is hurt. Kansas City trying to withstand a lot of injuries on the defensive side. Right now you got Mahomes, double fake, throws to Hunt, and he gets blasted a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Flowers and Hightower.
The two smartest guys on the defensive side of the ball are both all over this little fake reverse screen action. Watch him go get it. There's Hightower. He's been great all night. And the other guy, Trey Flowers, he sees it, and they meet and make contact. Watch Hightower. He gives it the little nah.
2nd and 10. That's caught, but a very short gain, setting up 3rd and long. Sammy Watkins goes to the turf. Stopped at the 28-yard line. It's 3rd down and 7.
And now if you're Andy Reid, you're going, okay, where am I going 100% of the time? I am going to my tight end, Travis Kelce here, right? But now you know what Hightower's been doing to him all night. So now where's your next best? That's what the Patriots do so well. They make you play left-handed, as they call it. Who's up next?
Five wide on a 3rd and 7. Blitz coming. Mahomes off his back foot, deep downfield, and almost intercepted. That's Jason McCourty. Tyreek Hill sprinting downfield. Pressure was put on that time, and thus Mahomes was backing up as he flings it downfield.
Boy, do they have guts. They go cover 0 with Tyreek Hill on the field, the fastest guy on the planet, and they get just enough pressure. If Mahomes had been able to stand in there and throw that a little farther, there's no way that they could have gotten him. The ball's underthrown. It ended up giving Jason McCourty a chance.
First punt of the night. Dustin Colquitt leads the league in net punting average, and now you have action. You got at the 20-yard line. A fair catch was called for, and that was Charvarius Ward who bumped into him, and we'll get the call from John Hussey after a conference amongst the officials.
Okay, the ball did not touch anybody, so let's eliminate that. Then you have to think, was he blocked into this contact?
So Ward makes contact on Edelman at the 21-yard line.
The ruling on the field is that the kicking team member, the receiving team member knocked the kicking team member into the receiver. Therefore, there's no foul for interference.
Okay. One more look.
Let's see. He was basically pulled into him. You could see the tug of the shoulder pad, and nobody's happy. Belichick's not happy. He's yelling at the officials. Andy Reid's not happy.
Keon Crossan was the Patriot player involved, but turns out to be just the 21-yard line. They start the drive from there, and Gronkowski is wide open and rumbles past the 50 and gets thrust out of bounds after a huge gain. Gronkowski pushed Parker out of the way, and that's a gain of 42 yards.
I love it. Trent Brown is going to block the man coverage. So he comes out and blocks, and Gronk is going to go scot-free down the field. When you come down and they call it choke the tight end down there with that man coverage, there is no way, if he gets blocked, there's nobody left out there. So Trent Brown takes care of the man coverage. Gronkowski takes care of the rest. What a brilliant play.
The second catch of the night since the first quarter. The ball at the 37-yard line now. And it's a 1-yard pickup for Sony Michel, who's gained 102 yards on 22 carries tonight.
Isn't it amazing that this brilliant game is coming down to one rookie basically letting go of Tom Brady? What's the headline? A rookie let go of Tom Brady. Unbelievable.
Timeout taken here by Kansas City. Brady 281 passing yards tonight. Spread it around as he always does. Hogan's caught 4, Edelman 4, Gordon 4, White 4, and then Gronk with 2, including that huge 42-yarder. Second down and 9. Kansas City 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Took one right there. And Brady now from the 36-yard line. Comes back to the near side and hits Josh Gordon for a short gain. Steve Nelson makes the tackle It'll be 3rd down and 5. Kansas City will take another timeout.
Well, let's go back and look one more time. Breland Speaks going to come around. The officials have these guys so trained at this point not to hurt quarterbacks. He thought the ball was thrown. It was not, and he woke up to his worst nightmare. He let Tom Brady walk into the end zone, and he can't. I can't believe what just happened to me.
That look said it all, didn't it? 3rd and 5. Brady with that deep drop and a lot of time, and then throws, and that's Edelman, but he can't make the catch. Kendall Fuller. Boy, that was a huge stop for Kansas City. They pick up a 1st down there, and you can begin to milk that clock down.
There were 2 war veterans out there working against each other right there, and that's one of those. Looks like their feet got tangled up a little bit, and no call.
50-yard field goal attempt coming here.
Boy, if they miss, this is big. Gives them great field position.
It's a wingless night. From 50, Gostowski for the 3-pointer right down Broadway. 7-point game. 40-33 with 3:15 left in the 4th. Well, you know what? It's great. This game was so hyped. And, you know, we've seen enough games through the years. Sometimes it lives up to it. Most times it doesn't. This one lived up to it, didn't it?
They've overachieved, have they?
Yeah. It's almost a Super Bowl score here, 40-33.
These
Close.
2 teams are going to go at it, and I would not be surprised down the road we don't see this matchup one more time come playoff time, because there's no question about the Kansas City Chiefs and this offense. They're for real. And we know what the New England Patriots are. And plus, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to start to get back some of their top defensive players, and so they're going to get even better on that side of the ball.
You know, it's too early to talk about seeding, but keep in mind, I mean, Kansas City already has 2 road wins in the division. They beat Pittsburgh on the road. They win this tonight, they would have the tiebreaker against just about everybody.
Yeah, beat Jacksonville, right? I mean, so there's all the sort of contenders that are out there, but this would be the crown jewel if they could get this one here.
Gostowski kicks that one through the end zone. And Holmes and his group will go to work from the 25-yard line.
Well, we saw a defensive battle last week, and that was fun. Now we're seeing an offensive showcase, and this is fun.
Talked about that Super Bowl. The final was 41-33 last year.
I'm still getting over that all-out blitz on the part of the Patriots and leaving Tyreek Hill one-on-one. I doubt they're going to try that one again.
From the 25-yard line, play action. Holmes steps up, going deep. Downfield, wide open again is Hill. Inside the 30. Wow. Hill down the sideline. Hill all the way.
Oh, my goodness.
Touchdown, Kansas City at 75 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
It took all of 12 seconds. Unreal.
This is how they do it. They're going all the way across. Yes, there's a safety in the middle of the field, but he's so fast he gets on the other side of it. But I assume there was somebody that was supposed to be playing that deep zone. There wasn't, so it was clearly a blown coverage by somebody. But when you see Tyreek Hill turn on those jets, it's like people with angles look stupid trying to chase him. I mean, Dron Harmon is a big-time athlete and free safety, and he doesn't even get close.
And the pass a little behind him as well, had to reach back for it. Down the sideline he goes. Hill tonight, 7 catches, 142. This to tie the game now for Butker. And he does. 3:03 left in the 4th. One of those games you don't want it to end. 40-40. Right.
Holy, sounds like somebody with moderate vision at this point.
Yeah. Dietrich Wise goes hobbling off.
mean, there's no way you've got a free safety in the middle of the field. And let's give credit to this offensive line. Look at that protection. It took all of it. And there just wasn't anybody on this side of the field. So a blown coverage of some kind that was really not Harmon's responsibility. And you certainly don't want to forget where that guy is.
We talked about Hill, his average touchdown, again, counting returns, 50 yards. That'll raise the average a little.
I tell you, Al, watching the Colts game last week, my one comment was the Colts blew about 3 of those deep overpasses they didn't connect on. Andy Reid saw that film.
Butker's kick. And Brady will get the ball at the 25-yard line. Game-winning drives for Brady. A whole bunch. 42 game-winning drives, fourth quarter or overtime. That is the equivalent of almost 3.5 seasons worth of games. Breeze has 43 among the active quarterbacks.
I think Patrick Mahomes might have a bright future in this league.
I think.
59!
Bill Parcells might even get the anointing roll out tonight. To the 25-yard line. End around. Edelman. And Julian puts his head down and picks up about 6. Second down and 4. Josh McDaniels calling in the plays.
You know, now so many things come into play. Kansas City had to take 2 of those timeouts. Tom Brady and Josh McDaniel. What they want to do is milk this thing down to nothing and score a touchdown or kick a field goal and never give it back to Patrick Mahomes until the playoffs.
Not a good idea. Second down and 3.
There he is. Come on.
Michelle. He's going to come up a little short, but first things first. We are going to go down to the 2-minute warning, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1 for the Patriots.
Woo.
What a night in Foxborough. What a game. Knew we'd have a lot of points, but we've got 80 of them already. 2 minutes to go in regulation. 40-40. Third down and 1. From the 34-yard line, they give the ball to Michelle, and he's able to squirt forward for a first down. So now they can begin to use the clock as well and try to set up a game-winning field goal or a touchdown.
Now, I think Belichick would have gone for it there. We saw it in Indianapolis before in that game. Remember the 4th and 2 up there that he decided to go for it?
Right.
Didn't work. But I think it was the right approach. An unstoppable offense on the other side. I think he would have gone for it.
Right down to 90 seconds. A flip out here to White. And White is going to carry Anthony Hitchens with him for a first down into Kansas City territory. He takes it to the KC 48.
It's just so difficult on those guys, those linebackers. That has been the weakness of Kansas City, trying to cover those backs out of the backfield, and it has been the strength of the New England Patriots having James White back there. They will continue to exploit that matchup as long as they stay in man coverage, and it looks like man again.
First down, 50 seconds. Brady deep down the sideline. He goes for Gronkowski. He has it. Josh Shaw takes him down, but the ball is inside the 10-yard line. And they can milk that clock all the way down now after a 40-yard gain.
He's been so silent all night long. And then finally, they uncork him in the biggest moment. And now for Tom Brady, he sees Gronk, he sees one-on-one, he sees no help finally, and he takes a shot. And now it's all just simply about, can they make a field goal?
Timeout taken by Kansas City here, but they're up against the wall. Nothing they can do about it right now. 17 seconds. You got Brady now has thrown for 340 yards. Mahomes 352.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's 5 straight games now for Mahomes over 300 yards.
That is correct. Every game but the opener against the Chargers. So 1st and goal. They can position the ball exactly where Gostkowski wants it. And Andy knows what he's up against.
Hold on, David. Hold on.
Generally, kickers like it on the left hash. We'll see where Gostkowski likes it.
Goes right to the middle of the field.
Take that.
So 2nd down and goal. And they will let their fabled place kicker come in and try to send everybody home. By the way, in the history of the National Football League, no game has ever wound up 43-40. We've seen all kinds of crazy scores, but never this one, if he makes it.
Well, you wonder whether or not they were going to give him a chance at a mulligan on the snap. But this team is so efficient, and the last thing they wanted to do was kick it to Kansas City, almost return one on them earlier.
Joe Cardona, the snapper. Ryan Allen is the holder. And Gostkowski will try to send everybody home happy. Which he does. What a game. What a game.
And Tom Brady is sprinting across the field to say congratulations to Patrick Mahomes.
Living up to the hype. Gronkowski, 3 catches for 97 yards. And the New England Patriots, after that 1-2 start, have won 3 straight, tied with Miami for the top spot in the division. Kansas City still has the lead in the West. Meanwhile, a big win for New England, because they're going to have to play 4 of their next 5 and 6 of their next 8 on the road. 43-40. The pass to Gronkowski set him up for the game-winning field goal in a wild one in Foxborough. The kick is good. Brady now with 200 regular season wins and a few more in postseason as well. Very tough loss for Patrick Mahomes, but what a night for that guy. 352 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bill Belichick, only Hamas and Shula with more victories lifetime, and Andy Reid will have to wait another week before he gets his 200th win counting postseason play. And Gronk, very quiet for a good part of the game and very noisy in the 4th quarter as Kelsey looks on.